Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And if this is your first time here, guys, I surely appreciate you stopping in. Guys, I'm often asked why no-till, right? And not only no-till, but more of a regenerative ag approach when it comes to food plotting. There's so many different approaches when it comes to no-tilling, right? What is no-tilling? So no-tilling could be, using a conventional drill. Like we always say, right? If you have them, they're great. But a no-till drill has to go behind a tractor, right? So you're talking about at least a $40,000, $50,000 purchase, maybe more, maybe $60,000, $70,000, right? Depending on the size of drill you need in the tractor that you need to get that job done. Does it put seed to soil contact perfect? Yes, it does. But I'm one of you guys, right? I don't have that tractor. I had a tractor just a few years ago. And it was a hydrostatic, the biggest hydrostatic tractor that you can get. And for what I wanted to do, I wanted more of a gear shift because of my hills around here. So I got rid of that, right? And to be honest with you guys, I don't miss it at all. It's nice to have it, right? The perfect world, we'd have $100,000 worth of equipment sitting around, and every time you need it, you'd have the perfect machine. But the moral of the story is this, guys. This video is this. You don't have to have that big equipment. And what is no-till? So no-till, like I said, guys, on my approach, is more of a regenerative ag twist, and then it is a just conventional using a no-till drill. Using my method is using the broadcast approach. And the reason I do that, guys, is like I said, I'm one of you guys, right? And I'm bound and determined to make this work as far as a broadcasting and getting that, what is that? How do you get that good seed to soil contact? But also how do we go? What is the seeding rate, and what are we doing with crimping and stuff like that? So I want to share something with you guys here real quick. So finish that, right? A no-till regenerative ag approach is what I do. I do a broadcast method, and then I crimp, right? So for those that are always betting against me, right? This isn't calling anybody out because I get this a lot, but the betting against it. Here's what I want to show you. So Monday I planted in the rain. Kind of got myself in a pickle, to be honest with you, because it was the perfect conditions and it didn't quit raining Tuesday. And Wednesday I came out to spray because I have a few plots that I need to spray herbicide behind it because I'm just not the perfect weedless and grassless condition. Wednesday at noon, the seed that I put down, guys, was already germinating. So would it have done that without the thatch? Maybe, because of the conditions. I can guarantee you if those conditions weren't that condition and this would have been open soil, the normal normal way of food plotting as far as like a tilled, that would not have happened, right? So my findings is, right, like I said on the last video, guys, is my findings is I'm trying to catch that when I'm doing this method. If you're going to follow exactly what I'm doing, to try to catch it like I was doing during a rain or between rains. So can you catch that? Can you not? But that's perfect because the soil is accepting the seed a little bit, right? So when we crimp or cultipack, like we say, behind the seeding, it helps set that in. But guys, why I'm bringing this video to you today is it germinated that quick. Not only did that happen, sadly, this morning we got hit a mile from me. The good Lord, I guess, was looking out for me here, and my neighbor's right adjacent to me because we didn't get hit with it, but we got hit with a tornado about 1.5 miles from here. And lives were lost, sadly, and a lot of people injured, and our community is grieving right now, and we can't get down there to help. They have the road shut off, and just the folks that are right there helping, and we can't get there yet, so we're hoping to maybe go down there tomorrow and see what we can do. So thoughts and prayers are with those folks. Guys, we got 1.5 inches of rain in the last 12 hours. I knew it was raining last night, but it wasn't one of those crazy rains during the night. So it happened, that tornado hit at 7 o'clock this morning. And they say that we got roughly 3/4 of an inch or a half inch to 3/4 of an inch in about 20 minutes or a half hour. When you get that amount of rain, I don't care what you have, you're going to wash, right? It's going to wash. Guys, yesterday I planted switchgrass on that side of the ridge here for my access up to the back side of the blind that you can see on the shot plot. About 2 acres of switch that I interseeded or reseeded a bunch of it. I just went over there, not an ounce of that is washed because of no-till approach. This here, none of this is washed. I'm going to show you the road, guys, that I use on the way up here. Deep Creek has about 12 foot of water rushing through it right now. The banks are busting. The road that I use up the bank here to get into the farm is washed, rock everywhere. No erosion. So there's multiple reasons why I do this, but this is one of them, guys. I can honestly tell you that I don't fret the rain. I don't fret all of this, drought as much. We still need the rain, right? But it gets you through. And the erosion, I can tell you right now, guys, that the amount of rain that I got, I kept it right here on my food plots. So you can see this is crimped, and like I said, I didn't catch it perfect, so there is a little bit of it that stood back up, and I wasn't able to spray. So I'm going to have a little grass problem more than I usually do on my summer planting, right? But it's not the end of the world, guys, because what I do is I turn around and crimp this, seed this, crimp this, and plant it again into a fall brassica blend, in a blend, let's say, in the fall, August or September here in Kentucky. So, am I happy that I'm going to be fighting grass? No, but I can honestly tell you a lot of it's just grass. I don't have hardly any weeds in it. It's just grass. You can see some Johnson grass popped up and some orchard grass, stuff like that, right? But it's all going to get crimped down again in the fall. So the perfect world, it wouldn't be here. But it's something I'm going to have to deal with because I can't spray because it all germinated. So I'm just using this video as an example, guys, to help you see that a lot of naysayers out there will say that this doesn't work. This can't work. Well, I've got proof that we figured it out. It was like 48 hours of germination. And guys, I'll show you, I've got seeds that threw a root, and everything that I find in here is germinated, and it's holding the moisture, and it's not eroding. All of this is a pro, right? So I understand the theory or the reason folks say this can't be done because it's so unconventional. But I just encourage you to try it, guys. I wish, you can only see so much through the camera lens sometimes, right? I have nothing to hide. I'm not hiding anything. I'm just trying to help folks that don't have the money or the people to make a co-op, which I highly recommend. If you are in a situation that you can have kind of a form of co-op, guys, with equipment, that's kind of a lost art. I wish that would come back, to be honest with you. Being raised in mid-Michigan and in a farm community, my dad spoke of that for years. I witnessed a little bit of that growing up, as far as everybody having that and sharing. I'm blessed enough here. I've got some great neighbors that, I do things for them. They do things for me. We trade equipment back and forth. I help plant their food plots, help them with their deer management stuff, use equipment. It's great. We just haven't got together yet and bought a drill yet. But I encourage you to do that, right? As if that's something that you have a chance to do, I highly recommend doing that. And so I'm just, I guess, like I said, guys, right, at the end of the day, I'm just trying to get this accomplished, or trying to perfect this and get this accomplished, because I wish, like I said, guys, I wish everyone could see the progress of this soil that we have now, right? The dirt that we started with, the nasty that we started with, and what I've got now. I mean, you ride the side-by-side across it and you just float. Before, I mean, it was horrible. You'd about rattle the front end out of the thing, and we, picked rocks, and every year in the spring we throw a few rocks off here and there, and we finally got it to a point that I would probably feel comfortable. I'd still have to be cautious, but maybe I could drill it. When I first started this, I'm not using my drill, and I'm surely not using anybody else's drill in it. So we planted the 4 acre field that we call it here, which is now in Milo. I elected to plant that into, just bring it up to speed on that. All my food plots are planted into a soil builder. My destination 4-acre field that was always been corn, we took that out of corn and I went milo, I went buckwheat and eco-till radish to help get, building soil health and drive some tubers down into that. And I did the same thing over there, guys, that I did here. That was just a nasty mess over there. And I caught it right because that's 2 years of a failed corn plot in there because I was the only one planting corn. I used to have 18 acres of it around me, and now it's, now it's 4 acres. And the deer just destroyed it. And when the deer destroyed it, the Johnson grass took it over. So I had to spray that pretty heavy after I planted. But the goal is on that as well, is to not have to spray. So I just want to bring this, some comments on that last video. Folks are saying, I bet that it won't work, and betting against me, and it's not, you're not the first one, and you won't be the last. But there are a lot of folks out there that this can help, this strategy can help. So we're working on, how do we get that best seed to soil contact? I'm not trying to sugarcoat this or lie to anybody or cover anything up. You have to plant more seed because some of it's going to get good soil contact, some seed to soil contact, some of it's not. I plant about at least 30% more what I'm broadcasting, but guys, you can spend a boatload of money on extra seed, and it would take years and years and years to equal out the amount that you'd have to buy, that you're going to spend to buy a drill. So in other words, right, you can spend maybe is it 10 years, 20 years? I did the math one time, and it was like 20 years of overseeding my plots, knowing that some wasn't going to catch, versus what I could spend to buy a drill. So is it perfect? No, but like we said, guys, this method will work, and it does work, and I'm here to try to help folks see the benefits of this. And I just wanted to share this with you today. All that rain that we got, guys, nothing, I'll show you right here, right? Nothing is washed. Take a walk with me here before I let you go, and I'll show you the road that I was talking about. So this stretch up through here is sprayed and planted in the milo. I've got HD screening planted up here. Nothing is washed. Come over here where I've got all the switchgrass planted, and I'll show you guys. I was even thinking, okay, am I going to get all my switchgrass washed away? This is all sprayed for switch. None of this switch is washed down. I went around the edges. So what I do, right, is I took my crimper and I crimped it. It's a straight bar crimper, and I crimped this, rolled it after I seeded it yesterday, right? So that bar crimper makes a scar. I'll show you here, right? It makes a scar in the ground. It makes an imprint, kind of like a dozer track, if you will, right? So I went over it this way first, and then knowing the slope is here, knowing that the slope is here, I went this way with it as well and tracked it in like you would with a dozer, right? So as it washed, it would hit those stair steps, and it caught, right? It kind of fell into those grooves. A lot of times, to be honest with you, when it gets done, it starts growing. It almost looks like it's drilled because of that crimper is so aggressive, right? That's why, one of the reasons why I use that crimper. So the faster you go with that, it actually acts as a cultipacker. So if I go about 6 to 8 mile an hour, or 8 mile an hour, I'm sorry, it will act as a crimper because the paddles are hitting the ground quicker. If I go slower, about that 5 to 6, that's when it really crimps because it gets that good chug effect. Now, yeah, it chugs as a pole, as easy, as smooth as like a chevron pattern does. But I'm here to tell you guys, if I'd have done this just with a chevron pattern and it wouldn't have had that scar in the ground, probably a lot of my stuff wouldn't have crimped. 1, 2, it wouldn't have made that mark in the ground. And some of it yesterday, because the moisture was that good in the ground, it was leaving like a 1/2 inch imprint, right? So that's, a lot of that seed that we're planting, whether it's switchgrass or food plot seeds, right? That's what it needs. It needs that, 1/2 inch cover. So put it in the ground. A lot of it got packed. A lot of it didn't run off the field, right? So I get a lot of folks, guys, that'll say, I'd love to do this, but I just can't afford a you know, a $10,000 crimper, and you don't need a $10,000 crimper, right? I got $600 into that crimper. It's 48 inches wide. It's 48 inches wide, straight bar crimper. Make sure you go at least 4-inch paddles. They're 6 inches apart, so I don't know how. It's like a 22-inch drum. I don't know how many of those paddles are on, but you do the math. That's why I use that, guys, because it's very, very aggressive. Like when I go to crimp, the perfect situation is like, you know, that you see that rye that's still standing in that shot plot that I'm just going to mow off. What happens is, guys, that crimper is so aggressive that it cuts that I take that back, doesn't cut. It knocks it down and scars it enough, right? We don't want to cut it because that's be like a mower, right? We don't want to cut it. We just want to scar it, and it lays there and it tries to, you know, come back, and it finally fails, right? It just can't live through it. Now, like I said, so one of the questions here that I'll answer is this. A lot of folks say, well, can I just mow? You know, can I use a cultipacker? Let's start there. No, you can't use a cultipacker, because with a cultipacker, you're only going to crimp. You're only going to bust that rye in one place. That's at the bottom, right? You're not going to put a scar in it unless you just happen to run across it a couple times. But usually you don't bust it more than once. With a crimper, guys, you can actually crimp and cultipack, right? So I would much more like to see everybody get a crimper. I'd recommend a crimper more than a cultipacker. Is there a reason for the cultipacker? Absolutely. I'm not a fan, guys, of the regular cultipacker with your V-shaped cultipackers. And the reason for that is the deeper that V is, the less soil that your seed is missing in that, you know, 2 inch or inch wide trough, if you will. It's not really setting the seed. What those cultipackers were meant for, they're not a good situation for a no-till. What they were meant for is good fluffy tilled dirt where that thing would set in. Then maybe there's something to be said with you're actually getting you know, the full compaction. But we're not doing that. I wouldn't recommend, you know, opening up the soil like that to anybody. So I would recommend to see you use more of it like a smooth drum roller or something, as long as it's not going to stick and build up a bunch of soil and pick up seed. So that's why I use a crimper, because I can do both. As you can see, it worked over there, and it worked here as a cultipacker and a crimper. The second thing, guys, is, like I said, the mowing. Can we just mow? And the answer to that is no. And the reason for that is, guys, when you mow, I'm going to do a video on when you could mow, but mowing after you seed puts too much, especially if you only have like a 5 or 6 foot bush hog, if you will. The reason for that is it puts too much thatch down, and it's a broken thatch. It's like, you know, when you mow your yard, right, it leaves a windrow and it puts it too thick. We want that long stemmy vegetation laid down, whether it's grass, perfect weeds, whatever it is, right, that we're putting down. Hopefully a good pure stand of rye, but when it goes down, it's nice and airy, right? But if you're using like a 12, 14, 16 foot bat wing mower, those can work because it doesn't leave the pile. The only problem with that is, guys, whenever you mow, you leave a mark with the tires, whether it be the tractor or, you know, if you're using like a, you know, the pull behind mowers behind a side-by-side, whatever the case is, or a 6 foot bush hog, you're going to leave tractor tracks in it, and you're going to leave the mark of the bush hog, maybe just that guide wheel on the back, maybe a bat wing mower where it's got 2 or 3 tires on the ground. It always compacts that area in, and then what happens is that mulch is too thick to begin with, and then it packs as well. So try to keep this one as short as I can, guys, but there's just a lot of stuff that I wanted to answer and help folks understand why I had the time. I've got a short window here trying to get all this done, shoot some videos while I'm doing this. Si's away at his 2-week training with the guards, and so I'm doing this myself. I just wanted to get this out to you guys to show you, like I said, it can be done. And you know, I don't know if folks think that it's actually by commenting, you know, making rude comments, I guess what you could say, you know, that it hurts my feelings, but because it doesn't. I've been called everything, and I've been, you know, accused of said everything about this system doesn't work. And I'm here to tell you it does. You just have to follow the procedure. Don't, let me do the thinking for you, if you will. I've been there, done that, and I'm still learning, but I've failed on a bunch of it, so I can answer a bunch of these questions for you, because I failed at a bunch of it, and we're also doing some more testing as we go, such as, can you just crimp the rye in a shot plot over your clover instead of having to mow it or use herbicide? That's one of the tests I've got going on right now. As soon as I get the answer to that, I'll tell it to you, right? So maybe that saves you some time. And there's some pros and cons that we'll go over later. The end of the day, at this video, like I said, guys, it works for multiple reasons, multiple ways. Yes, you do have a better chance if you drill it and then crimp it, so you can still use the same method. But broadcasting, crimping, and cul-de-packing does work, right? Seeding, crimping, spray maybe, right? That's what we teach. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Hope everyone is doing good, and you're out getting some of your food plot work done. And if you could throw a few thoughts and prayers our way to the families that who've been hit in central Kentucky, here just a mile from me. Thoughts and prayers are with them, and we can't wait to be able to get down there to help them if there is anything that we can do, right? So, yeah, we'll see you on the next one, and I hope this one answers some questions, and I hope this one helps, guys. Thanks.